We begin today with weight in America. Close to 40% of Americans are obese. They need support, they need kindness, and one thing they definitely do not need is to be body shamed. I said something yesterday on this show that clearly struck a nerve, and I think it's a conversation that we need to have openly. We were discussing body shaming others, something I absolutely do not support. In fact, quite the opposite. We had on a woman named Maria Kang. Maria first came to fame a few years ago after she had 3 babies in 3 years, and she posted a picture of her very toned body online with a caption that read, "What's your excuse?" The internet was not happy, and neither was I when I had her on my old Fox News show where we had a rather contentious exchange. These days, Maria has softened her message a bit, and we had another go at it yesterday.
You know, for me, it was irritating because you look so good, and I don't look like that.
Oh, come on.
Right? That's how it made me feel, and I think that's how it made others feel, right?
Yeah, I can get that.
Because your goal is to be an inspiration,
Yes.
not a shamer.
No, never. And that was never my intent. My intent was always to say, you know, if I can do it, I mean, I've had 3 kids in a row, just like you, then you can do it too.
That should have been the slogan. You can do it too. That would have made me say,
yes.
How? Yeah. Before saying goodbye, I acknowledge that Maria's message does actually appeal to some people. She has thousands of followers who have created their own No Excuses club throughout the country. And then I revealed something even I used to do 25 years ago.
That's so funny. I am not an accountability coach, but if you go to my Facebook page, I'm in your face kind of every day. Like if I'm working out, you can work out too.
That's what you should do.
Yeah.
You should parlay the shaming thing into a professional business.
Well, you know,
because some of us want to be shamed. When I was in law school and I was gaining weight, I said to my stepfather, if you see me go to that kitchen one more time, you say, "Where are you going, fat?" Right? And it works.
Well, you know, my husband does that to me all the time.
Many women have told me that they have done similar things to control their propensity to overeat. I understand that. The pressure to be thin is ubiquitous in America, and those who are not can face heartbreaking cruelty. I do not endorse this reality. The truth is, I loathe it. My entire family is or has been overweight or obese. My Nana, my mom, my sister, and my brother. I spoke to my sister yesterday, and she gave me permission to share that she was at one point over 300 pounds and ultimately chose to have gastric bypass surgery. One day when I was about 6 years old, I came home in tears. Our neighbor had called my mom fat, and I was angry and upset and thought it was entirely untrue. But my mom looked at me and said, "I am fat, Meg." And I said, "No, you're not." To which she replied, "Megan, in this house, we do not lie to make others feel good." It was the first time I ever saw my mom through that lens, and it was my first lesson about the lens through which most of this country judges heavy people, a brutal and unforgiving one. By the time I got to middle school, the hormones and the weight kicked in. I was chubby by any standard, and soon I found myself on the wrong side of some vicious bullies, ones who called me fat and made fun of my backside, who subjected me to humiliating pranks. Those comments can cut deep. Trust me, I know. Soon there were diet pills and obsessive exercise, and I had reduced my calorie intake to 500 calories a day. My heart was racing all day, my hair and my skin were dry, but I was thin and so unhappy. I was scared of gaining weight because of the insane standard this country holds its women to, and because I was and remain afraid of dying in my 40s, which happened to my father. As an adult, I have gotten healthier in my approach to eating, but I, like every woman I know, still wrestle with body image and still cringe when I hear a person attacked for his or her weight. Please know I would never encourage that toward any person. And I've been thinking a lot about why I once encouraged it toward myself. What I know for sure is that weight is an issue for millions of people, thin and heavy alike, and neither deserves to be judged or shamed for how they choose to handle that struggle. We're joined now by fitness trainer Bob Harper and Jennifer Hartstein, child, adolescent, and family psychologist. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hi.
I thought it was worth a discussion because it's such an emotional issue.
Yeah.
Megyn, I mean, you stepped into the lion's den yesterday. And I've worked in this business for such a long time, and I've worked with people that have been struggling with their weight. And it is such a sensitive subject. And what I really try to do with the people that I've worked with is just approach it with a kindness, a firm kindness. Like the woman that you had on yesterday, Fit Mom, I mean, she looks amazing and fantastic. But her goals aren't necessarily the realistic goals for the average person that I've worked with. And the words I love that you said yesterday were, why not,
you can do it.
You can do it. Like, I love that message that you put out there. And I'm really glad that you're wanting to talk about this, because this is a conversation to be had these days, because it is such a hard subject.
Honestly, I'm really hoping this show can be that kind of a place where we can have these open discussions about issues that are painful and difficult and not easy to discuss without clearly stepping on some landmines.
And you will step on landmines because it's emotional, right? I mean, I think the fact is that emotions are kind of automatic landmines, because what you might react to, I might not react to, and there's never really we don't have the map that tells us where the landmine is. So I think that, what you're saying is important, because we do have emotional relationships with food, we have emotional relationships with our bodies, and then the people in our lives do impact that. So a bully sets a tone in your brain that then you take into your adulthood, and you become the bully to yourself, and then where does that take you? So
you become the bully to yourself.
And I like the fact, I mean, when you were saying what you said to yourself, I mean, that's you being the bully to yourself, right? I mean, when you make the fat comment, that's a real hard approach. I mean, if someone said that to me, like, don't eat that, I would just literally be like this, well, I'm going to eat everything in my refrigerator because you said that.
Which we do.
I will eat everything because you just told me not to.
Right, but I think it also depends on the person, right? I mean, like, some people really appreciate that, because, my husband and I were talking about that. He likes a little reminder because he's not paying attention, whereas I hate it because I feel shame in it. The shame makes me want to eat more, and then I don't take care of myself. I'm not making good choices, So I think we have to switch the narrative, too, from am I thin to am I healthy? And I think that, or am I fit? And
well, that was the irony in my own situation, is that I was so scared for my upbringing that I was going to drop dead of a heart attack at age 45 like my dad, that I ultimately took it to an unhealthy place. Nobody should be eating only 500 calories a day.
When you said that, it was shocking.
I heard Bob gasp.
I did. I gasped. 500 calories.
I mean, it was a short stint that I was doing that. I don't think I ever, I would never categorize myself as having anorexia.
Right.
But I was in the danger zone for sure during that period of time. And thankfully, I had the light bulb moment of, this is not healthy either.
Right.
But I like the fact that you do. I watch your show, and I like that you talk about not wanting. You don't like to work out, but you look great, and it is work to look the way that you look. And I think it's important for people to get that message out, to say that this is something that we have to think about all the time. I've got to think about my food choices. I've got to reprioritize my time to make sure that I in some way get to be more active, and show people that we're all in the same boat. We're just on different compartments of that boat.
And I think the other piece about it is that the standard that society sets has to shift a little bit. What we see...
We have so much work to do on that front.
We have so much work to do on that front.
The magazines, the TV shows, the movies, the messaging to little girls across America is still that stick figure is what is beautiful.
Right, and it starts with the parents, or the men and the women in the little girls' lives, right? Because they're saying, oh, the mom's looking at themselves in the mirror and going, oh, I'm too heavy, and little girls are seeing that. And then, the dads are going, oh, look at this ideal of the beauty. And then, so we have to change the message.
I always say? I always say this. It's like, you do you, and let me do me. I think that's the important message.
And honestly, try to love each other in the process.
Absolutely.
And that is what I hope to put out clearly.
And start with
and
yourself.
you are by doing this, by having this conversation.
Absolutely.
Thank you both so much.
Thanks.